and You Know I Got Soul.
So, my first question is, how has being from the Bay Area influenced your sound?
Being from the Bay Area has influenced my sound because the Bay Area is kind of like its own world, and we've got like a mixture of many things. You've got your hood, you've got your rich part, you've got your little Mexico, little Chinatown, everything, you know, like all mixed together. And it's not really like although there's all those separate parts, it's not segregated. You're gonna find different people in all those areas. Well, yeah, so I don't know, it's cool.
That's
it's a
dope.
big melting pot of inspiration.
Yeah, for sure. So, 16, America's Got Talent.
Oh man.
That was like a really huge platform, obviously,
Yeah,
to be
awesome.
on. So, tell me how you grew as an artist from that experience.
Well, after the show, I was in a cover band, you know, we never made our own music. We were just performing.
Absolutely.
And then after the band broke up, it was like, well, I have all this talent and all this experience with performing, but now I can't just do covers for the rest of my life, so I have to make my own stuff. So I dived into the studio and started working on my own stuff, and then met my mentor, who was Nick Cannon, and we got together and started like forming what is my sound and my new music.
So you was on the show while you were...
Yeah, he waited 2 years to contact me.
Right. Did you all connect at all during this?
No, it was more just like, oh my god, that's Nick Cannon.
Nice.
And we're just like, oh my god, who are we? And then 2 years later, I get a call. My aunt's like, sit down. You're gonna need to breathe for this. I'm like, what? She's like, Nick Cannon called for you. He wants you to come do something. I'm like, oh, time. Come down there, and he's just like ready to, you know, get to work. And he's like a father figure to me. So
that's super cool. So
awesome.
you all kind of sat in the studio, helped engineer and create your sound and all of that.
Yeah, he was the first person to really believe in me after the band split up, and it was just kind of me doing my own thing. He's like, yo, I see you first. So, and he didn't, it's not necessarily he sat and like helped me specifically create it, but he helped me get to the place that I needed to get to create it, as far as meeting my producer, and if I needed to come to New York to work with my producer, then that's what it was, or I needed like a safe place to record at and a safe place to rest my head at night. He took care of all that.
Right. So your music, I must say, super aware, just like the music you make, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Like the way that you write, and a lot of the R&B right now, especially, it's like kind of scratching the surface, but you really get into like these conversations about love, and like people can actually feel it as if they're in that moment. So can you just talk about like the writing process and how you're able to actually connect those like real life emotions to your music?
Well, I'm finding that right now, like, a lot of people are compromising the sound that they first initialize as theirs, you know, like when people first start singing, I don't believe the first thing they come out with is radio records. You know, nobody just, hey, I'm just gonna start singing today and all this emotion's gonna come out as like club bangers, you know? Not initially, you know, so I feel like I just never compromised, and I just stayed really true to what I believed in, no matter what. Because at first, when I first started making music, after I made my first single, I was getting all the, you know, like, this is way too old for you, young people can't listen to this, like, blah, 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 we could never put this on the radio, you can't sell records. And I'm like, somebody's gonna buy it, you know, somebody likes it. So if they like it, they like it. If you don't, you don't, you know? So my writing process is, I'm not really like a metaphorical type person, which I always respected and really adore that type of music, because it's something that I haven't learned how to do yet. But I'm very literal. I like telling stories. Like I was really good at writing stories in like middle school. I always got like English awards for writing short stories. But when I turned into music, I was like, yo, I can literally word for word tell a story that I know for a fact young girls in the world are going through right now, that they'll be able to relate to more if I tell it from my perspective, because they'll feel like they're in my shoes. So, and I just try to stay really positive and offer a voice that isn't offered right now. Like in the industry, I feel like there's not many, like there's a lot of the same type of females, you know, and there's a lot of like females that not every female can relate to. Like I don't wake up and be this badass bitch who just twerks and like fucking gets all this money and throws it at the strip club and just fuck niggas, you feel me? Like I'm more of like, hey, you know, I'm honestly, I'm here, I'm exactly where I'm at, I'm upcoming, I'm still from where I'm from, I'll always be from where I'm from, I'm honest, I'm genuine, you know, I'm not trying to give a portrayal of something that I'm not. I'm not at the club throwing bands, you feel me? I'm in the studio or I'm chilling with my friends. You know, so I want to give that perspective because, you know, how many people you just walk out the side of the street and you can ask, hey, did you go throw bands at the club today?
Right.
You know, so I don't know, try to make it relatable.
That real life comes out in your music.
Thank you.
I feel everything that you sing, I feel like is real.
Thank you.
Which is, you know, that's super dope.
That's awesome.
So on the record, you have 2 songs in particular. I think they're produced by, I don't want to mess his name up,
Jahan Sweet. He's in there.
Word.
Yeah.
I might have to meet him after that.
Yeah.
Get Away and How We Do Is. Sample the 90s R&B records. Is that 90s period been like really influential in terms of you making music?
Yeah, it's to the point where like, I was in a moment for a second where you could ask me something on the radio and I had absolutely no idea because I'm so old school. You could tell, you know. I'm very, very much stuck in early 2000s and before that.
Right.
So I'm just now getting to like listening to the radio and listening to what's current and keeping up with who's around me just because now I'm in this lane.
Absolutely.
Before that, growing up, my auntie was just this woman who bought CDs and played them out until we knew every word and the CD broke.
Okay.
You know, and she only listened to neo soul and R&B, so it was we're gonna play this until we only memorize the words and we can't even listen to the CD anymore. And it's the same 5 to 6 CDs, and then we go get 6 more CDs and play those out. So when I found Jahan, it was very much an accident. Like I went to go work with another person at his studio, and then they bring up the beat. I didn't know whose beat it was. We made Get Away. I get back to California. I'm like, yo, Get Away is like my favorite song I've ever made in my life. And they're like, you know, Jahan made that. I'm like, word. And Jahan is close to my age, so when I hit up Jahan, I'm like, yo, you gotta do more shit for me. He's done my song Lock It Up.
Right.
That Till the Morning that I just performed, that was the new record. He did that. Thank you. I can't wait to drop that. I love it.
I was geeking in the crowd when you did that one. Yeah.
But yeah, so with Jahan, it was an instant connection, and actually making Till the Morning was the first time we've ever made music in the same room. Okay. Which was like 2 weeks ago, the last time I came to New York. Other than that, it's sending things back and forth and FaceTiming each other every day. And he's become like my family. Like that's my brother, you know. Like I'll probably beat people up for Jahan, you know. So it's for sure squad.
Relationship.
Definitely,
like
everybody that is in my artistic squad is my actual squad. Like my backup dancers live with me. Those are my roommates, my little sisters, you know. We get up every day and dance until we fall asleep, you know, so we keep it in the family.
Okay. So when people first see you, you definitely have your own look, right? So you don't fit into the mold of like the typical R&B female who you can put into like a little box. And obviously because I do feel like you are a self-aware person. You know this.
Yeah.
So, what do you have to say to up-and-coming people who may look at you and be like, well, hey, she's not doing what these other artists have done in the past. Typically, she's in her own lane. What type of advice or inspiration would you give to them?
It's simply just do you, boo-boo.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's really all. It's always been what it is, because from the day I first got my first tattoo, it was always, well, how are you gonna do this, and how are you gonna do this, and then I get a face tat, and they're like, well, what if you want to get like a makeup company thing sponsorship? And I'm like, yo, if they fuck with me, they fuck with me. If they don't, they don't. You know, I'm not here to impress people based on what I look like. If anything, I'd put out music all day and would never show my face. And I'd rather you fuck with me off the strength of my sound and my art and what I create rather than what I look like. You know, tattoos are just self-expression. Everybody wears their art differently, whether that's hanging on your wall, whether that's on your t-shirt, whether that's on your skin, it's art. You know, so, and I get all the time, you know, like, you must be a gangster rapper, like, you look like you beat people up, but you make love songs. And I'm like, yeah, that's the beauty of it all.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what I find cool about myself, is you're not going to expect what comes out of my mouth to come out of my mouth.
And that's the thing about music that I feel like we should get back to, is like actually getting away from the image and listening to what the person is saying. You should be able to connect to that.
It's real sad almost to just because I know so many really dope artists who are so focused on what's coming out of their of mouth. And I even know artists who, because of how shady the industry is, and they're not particularly like attractive enough, or they don't have enough sex appeal, and they're like way doper than anything that's going on right now. And it makes me hella sad. But my philosophy in life is just authenticity and genuinely good shit will always rock.
Absolutely.
You know, so if you're making good shit and you love what you're doing and everyone around you is loving what you're doing and you're proud of what you're doing, keep doing it. Fuck what anybody thinks and what they care about what you look like, because that's never stopped me. I went through many phases of what I look like, and I've always been the same on the inside.
Absolutely. So tell us what you have coming up next. What's going on?
Well, next I want to roll out some visuals that I'm actually trying to work on directing myself. So I'm trying to like get into doing a bunch of shit for myself, and I'm gonna work on a new project.
Nice.
I would like to drop another mixtape and then eventually an album. But I want to do more shows and get to know more people, and you know, just keep growing and keep expanding and keep loving and keep inspiring and keep making music. And that's really all I'm for. I'm not here to, I don't have an immediate goal. Yeah, what's next? I'm about to cop this Benz. I'm about to, you know, do all that. I just want to keep making music and keep influencing people.
For sure.
So it's fun.
Anything you want to add?
Just keep up with me on my social networks. It's anything.com/Kehlani Music, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud. My website is KehlaniMusic.com. I always interact with fans. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support.